Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome back to the channel. My name is Prosec and this is UKSG Blue for 2023 in aid of crisis. We're going to jump right into our next run here, which will be a future connected Xenoblade Chronicles run by RebelDragon95. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you. So my name's Rebel. This is Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. It's like an epilogue game that they included with the Definitive Edition. So if you're ready to go, alright, cool. So I'll go in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, there we go. Right, so this is Future Connected. It's a like a little story thing that is like a little bit of a conclusion to Xenoblade 1's plot involving Melia and Shulk and a couple of other Nopon characters going to the Bionis shoulder, which is like the big planet that they're all on. And going back to Melia's like hometown and sorting out problems there. Right, so what I just did there was I put casual mode on. Basically, it's this game's kind of easy mode, but in order to call everyone out who picks it, they called it casual mode. If we're going by like the difficulties of the other games, it's technically like normal mode in comparison to some of the other games with how it does its damage and such. But in this game, they added it in with the Definitive Edition, so there was like a easier version. All right, so this fight was from Wolves, but I need to do a quick menu here. So we're going to play a Shulk. We don't need Kino. Oh, that'll do. I did that menu completely wrong, but it's fine. So we're going to try and get all the Wolves in a line. That's not working, but it's fine. And we're going to try and blow them up. Right, there go the two of them, and then set those guys to focus, and they should take out this guy pretty quickly. There you go. That was okay. Normally, what you're meant to do is you're meant to line them up in a row, and they and then you can take them all out at once using the Monado Buster. So in combat, I've got a bunch of stuff at the bottom. Those are known as arts. And this game has a lot of very different things based on like position. So Shulk has a couple of attacks. Like one of them is called Backslash. If you hit an enemy in the back, it does more damage. He has another one called Slit Edge, where if you hit him in the side, it reduces their defense, their physical defense, so you can do more damage with Shulk. There's a lot of moves like that in the game, so you basically want to try and make sure that you're manipulating what's called aggro. So in combat, when you hit enemies, you build up like an aggro meter, essentially. And you want your tank to have the most amount of aggro at all times, so you can run around them as Shulk and like deal damage in different places. But it does depend on the situation that you're in. Yeah, this is aggro right now. A couple of bigger enemies saw me, and just decided to attack me. Right, so we're walking over here because we need to go to this little village over here. I think it's called Companion's Cape. Basically, at the end of Xenoblade 1's story, all the different races that lived around the two neighboring kind of structures, like massive like country structure things, we started all living together. So this is just one of those groups that got left up on this part of the Bionis. And they tell us that we need to go see the other village, but we need to go to see what's happening at Alchemoth first, which is where Melia wants to go. So yeah, so what I just there is called a skip travel. Whenever you find a landmark, you can then just travel to it whenever you like. Whenever you get landmarks and other locations like that, you actually get a little bit of EXP as well. So we actually go. There's actually one landmark, like one location that we're gonna grab just because it gives us a bit of EXP to try and hopefully push us over from level 65 to 66 by the end of the run. Yeah, because you do start at level 60 in this because it's like an epilogue thing. Alright, so this is a Pond Spectre with an amazing song that's going to get stuck. This is like this is the only skippable cutscene in this, and you have to mash through the text. Basically, this is like a tutorial of him saying, all my Pond Spectre brothers are around the world. You must go do their quest to acquire their help on like your party. So normally in Xenoblade games, you have what's known as a chain attack. What a chain attack is in the main games is a kind of like a sequence you can go into where you pick different attacks between all your party members, and the whole idea is you chain together attacks in a particular way to keep the chain attack going for as long as possible. That doesn't exist in Future Connected. What we have instead is called a Union Strike. So when you build up your party gauge, which is a blue meter at the top that goes yellow when it's at max, you do an attack instead where you launch the Pond Spectres at whatever enemy you're locked onto, and basically do a brick of damage. And during the cutscene that shows that, there's some QTE inputs you have to do, which get progressively harder. The final one to get the perfect amount of damage from it is actually a 2-frame input. Oh, all right. So the start of the run is we're going to do a bit of walking because we need to go around and the world a little bit and collect some landmark locations. So when we get towards the part of the run where we need to start going everywhere and going to different places, we can start walking around everywhere. This also involves doing a kind of a little skip to grab a landmark location way earlier than we need it, but we also skip a different landmark location, so we skip quite a bit of walking. So that landmark there is so I can walk back to it in a minute here, because I need to get back there because the direction I need to go is closer to there than it is from over here. And it takes like 2 minutes to walk over here. Right. And generally a lot of the enemies are pretty passive, but the couple of enemies that are a bit aggressive, they have a little red icon on top of their thing. Those ones will be more aggressive towards you. Alright, so while I'm running over to where I need to go, Prozac, have you got anything you need to say?
Indeed, I can. Thank you very much. I would like to shout out why we are doing this. We are raising money to support Crisis, a charity supporting people out of homelessness for good. They achieve this through education, training, and support with housing, employment, and health. 90% of your donations will go towards supporting Crisis, and 10% will go towards UKSG's future events. On the note of donations, if you need a little bit of extra incentivization besides just being a lovely human being, then one of our runs coming up in just a few short hours will be Ghostbusters, and for that there is character customization that you are in control of. Yes, you can choose not only the character that will be played, but also the color of their uniform. Currently, Ray is in the lead, $20 to the next down $10 for Egan or Winston. But the uniform will be pink at $25. If you want to see something else, you know what you must do. With that, back to the run.
Alright, cool. So what I'm doing right now is I'm falling in a very particular way. So the way fall damage works in this game is you take a percentage of your HP for depending on how far you fall. So if you fall like a very large amount of distance, it takes away 100% of your HP. So by stalling how far I'm falling, you can basically kind of edit the amount of HP you lose based on manipulating your falling distance. And by falling down the side of the mountain there, you skip an entire landmark location. I forget the name of. It's like something Scalp or something, but it's about 2.5 minutes of walking you have to go through to go all the way around the outside, which just takes absolutely forever. So we don't need to do that. We just fall down the side of the mountain instead. The reason why we're coming over here, this is actually a really high-leveled area. There's a lot of like level 70 creatures here and such, which we're just going to ignore all of, like that guy there. We're going to ignore all of them. The only reason why we're here is because we need to grab a landmark location here, because we actually need to teleport to the kind of the temple that's at the back. So this guy here likes to aggro onto you. If an enemy does aggro onto you, oh, that did a lot of damage to me. If an enemy does aggro onto you, they might try and attack you like that guy did there. If that happens, you want to try and jump, because when you're in the air and taking damage, you actually don't have a stagger animation. When you're on the ground, you have a stagger animation. So when you can kind of tell an enemy's about to like hit you in the back, you can just kind of jump like that and then just eat the damage. Alright, so once I grab this landmark location, now I'm going to go back to the first one I grabbed in this chain, so we can actually move on to... We're going, don't get caught on the rock. Alright, there's a gem giant thing fighting a T-Rex. We don't get involved in that. Right, so this is the quarry. We're going to go back to Zephyr's Council, which is the giant rock thing here. Right, so now we're going to go over to Pillar Knox, which is up and around here, because that's where we need to go. We actually go back there again. So we need to go into this cave that's in front of us and up and around. The cave has a bunch of spiders in it. We're also going to ignore them as well. Basically, the kind of main difference between casual mode and normal mode in this is that in normal mode, the place I was just at, the quarry colonnade, I think that's how you pronounce it, you would go in there and throw a giant creature off the side of a cliff constantly to gain a bunch of EXP. You just do that continuously until you gain a bunch of EXP. But on casual mode, you don't need to do that. You can just about get through the game without having to stop and do any like level grinding. But it's like a only just kind of deal. It's actually it can be pretty scary at the end of the run. Like the final boss in this is quite spooky, and he can easily just end your life. So I will be making a safety save for that one, because this is one of those games where if you die in the final boss, it kicks you back to the title screen with absolutely no save ready for you. Right, it's actually a crisp 1 second faster to teleport to the landmark you just located there, or around that. It's like one and a half or so. But basically, it pushed you a little bit further into the landmark location than where the discovery point is. So we got to walk across these bridges with very worryingly large gaps, and like your strides definitely don't make it across these gaps, but you're perfectly fine. Something that is happening in the background of this is like a day and night cycle. It never really comes into play in this, but generally you start in the daytime and then we go through the night, and we're in the night for a lot of the run until we get to quest a lot later where we're back in the daytime again. The weather in this game is also RNG dependent as well. I've been here, the last few runs I've done of this, it's been raining here. I don't know if it's dependent on like the clock that's set on your Switch or something that determines that. I'm just going to say it's RNG and just leave it there. Right, there we go. We're in nighttime now. Generally, if you go into nighttime about here, you're actually on pretty okay pace for your the beginning walk. Ideally, you would want it to go nighttime when you get off that second bridge. But my first fight with the wolves wasn't very optimal. Yeah, that guy was on my butt again. Right, so Alchemoth has a teleporter to its main city up here, which is why we got to climb this thing. And then when we're there, we're also going to pick up our first Pond Spectre. So we already have a Pond Spectre with us, but in order to do a optimal Union Strike, we need 3. We need 1 of each type of Pond Spectre. There's blue, yellow, and red. Red is the damage dealer type, which is the one we just need to spam whenever we get it. Alright. And there we go. Ooh, nearly sub 12. Right, we're going to take a step here, then we're going to warp into the landmark location. Because that takes us just into the room. There we go. Loads the cutscene. You can skip that. And then it gives us the landmark location. There we go. Right. So this is Dry. Dry tells us he wants us to collect some feathers for him. Oh, I didn't mean to jump there. Right, so whenever you accept a quest, sometimes something called flavor text can occur. In the base game of this, that's based on your like affinity levels with the characters. So if, say, Shulk had a high affinity level with like Melia, it's like kind of a friendship bar, then you may get like what's called like flavor text after like when you accept quests or when you talk to NPCs, where they'll like encourage each other. There's no affinity system like that in Future Connected, really. It's just that like sometimes it will happen and you lose like a second. Alright, we're just going to grab this landmark location for EXP, but also because we need it in a second, just to quickly complete this quest a little bit better. Alright, we're going to grab Eternity Way, which is down here. There we go. This landmark location helps us gain a little bit more kind of like ability level up points, but also helps us get a little bit more EXP. So we use the landmark we just grabbed to do that, then we're going to go back to the main entrance, and we've done Dry's quest. Alright. There we go. Don't be me and accidentally delete that, which I've done before. Having Topple Plus for Melia later is really useful, and I've just deleted that item before, because you can say no to taking it and be like, I do not need it. Alright, so up here, there is like a split in reality. And there's an entity up here called the Fog King. Due to my amazing British accent, many people have mistook me for swearing whenever I say Fog King. Because I say it very quickly sometimes. Right, so this is the Snowball Towers. It's kind of been infected by the by the Fog King's energy. So we're going to use Shadow Eye. Shadow Eye reduces aggro on us, so we can actually lower this thing's defense and just grab some positional advantage before we go here and charge up our Monado Buster so we can do it. There we go. And now we're just going to spam arts and try and get through this fast. So these arts all have different like positional values and such. Playing a Shulk is just because like he's like the best damage dealer. He's basically an all-out offense character, so just playing as him is very, very useful for making sure that all your damage is dealt in an optimal way. Alright, that was a Snowball's house. That's kind of like the first big enemy you have to fight, and after that cutscene, the Fog King chases you out of Alchemoth. So now you're going to go to a different place to try and see if you can find a way to stop it. So we're going to go over here to the Skyport or something it's called. Basically, there is like a genius person living here, which we're going to go and ask, how do we stop this big entity from that we can't attack? And he's like, oh, I'll try and find a way for you. If you want to, yeah, it's a sky bridge, not a skyport, yeah. If you want to save like a crisp 0.4 seconds, if the load time is in your favor, you can do what I did for Pillar Nox into this landmark location as well. But if the load is slow, you lose time. And this game has an amazing issue with memory leak, which is like a problem with a lot of like Xenoblade games. They all have issues with memory leak. If you and basically what that is if you play the game for too long, the game just doesn't stay in the RAM of the console. So sometimes it just takes longer to load stuff, when it shouldn't. So when you run this, between every single reset you do or every single run you do, you have to close the game and reopen it. Alright, so we're about to pin Nox here, and we jumped off the side. That's just to get down the mountain a bit quicker. Jumping before you get to the edge is actually a little bit faster, because you can leap a little bit like further into where you need to go. Yeah, there's another landmark that we're never going to go to, but we're actually going to go down to the bridge over here, and I'm going to use the auto run feature so I don't have to hold forward the whole way. And host, if you've got anything you want to say, feel free to go ahead.
Thank you very much. Yes, I can. We would like to give a shout out to our friends over at ESA and BSG for supporting us for this and all of our events. ESA has been providing us with a channel for streaming and their wonderful, wonderful audience since we began, and it has been ever so delightful. ESA Winter 2024 is right around the corner on the 17th to the 24th of February, so tune in here if you are watching on ESA, or over there if you are watching on UKSG, and you will find that. We would also like to thank BSG, of course. They hold bi-monthly gatherings in the Netherlands and have supported UKSG as well from the beginning by spreading the word and giving us their channel on occasion. It has been a delight to work with them and a delight to work with everyone here. Shout out to all the volunteers, shout out to the runners, especially the one that is currently doing the gaming.
Alright, cool. So, we're heading over to the, it's called the Grand Dell Ramparts. Basically, it's the other kind of establishment of the other races that were part of the group of Companions Cape that we went to at the start. This is the other group that exists. And they all want to move back to Alchemoth, but the big, scary final boss is not allowing them to. So we're going to help them as well. Right, we're going to quickly teleport into the landmark location, and as we grab it, because it takes us like 2 seconds further into it. It doesn't look like that much for that one, but it is actually quite a bit of a distance you teleport. Right, we're actually going to go to the shop guy over here and basically drop all of our money on one weapon that we need for Nene, which is the little Nop one we have with us. Okay, there's all our money gone. We're going to grab the Grand Arch landmark, because we're going to use it a number of times throughout this run to get back to where, to get back there, because we talked to the professor character that's in there. And we're going to go grab our last Pond Spectre. So there was actually a different route for Pond Spectres years ago. I don't know how long ago this was, but a guy that goes by Sonic Shadow Silver 2 found this route where if you go over to this rock here, this is called Prayer Rock, and go to the back of it. the item that you need for a Pond Spectre quest is already spawned in. So you can just go back there, grab it, go talk to the Pond Spectre you need to talk to, who gives you the quest, and you can automatically complete it. So it just saves a lot of time over one of the other ones they did. I think they did one where they had to fight a few enemies. So doing this is definitely like way, way better, because we need this landmark location anyway. Because it's very useful to teleport to it for a later quest. So the little red orbs are always like quest ones. We're going to teleport back there because it's like 5 seconds faster. Oh, I went the wrong way. There we go. Right, so the Nop one we need is over here. And shout outs to Shulk for being able to like swim while also like holding his sword. Right. Here's our guy. He's going to be like, oh, here's a quest for you. This is Tutu. Tutu's like, I lost my mirror. Can you go grab my mirror, please? And we've already got the mirror, so we can just complete the quest from there. Cool. Bind. We put that on Nene just as like, I think to help her with stunning enemies. We're going to go back to Grand Arch because now we can continue. Alright, so after Grand Arch, we're going to go up to the top of the mountain for a cutscene thing. I forget the story context or whatever, but I got to do a quick menu. This is like the only menu you do in this run, where we're going to do a lot of stuff. So I'm going to change equipment. I'm going to put Topple Plus, change that, do that. Then I need to go to arts. So arts in this game you can level up. So we're going to level up a bunch of them. Level up Backslash to 7, Sledge to 7, Shadow Eye to 7, and Light Heal there. We're going to level up Summon Bolt once. We're going to level up Summon Flare. We're going to level up Starlight Kick. So Starlight Kick is the main move we're going to use for toppling. So when you're in combat, there's like multiple phase things that you can go through. So there's the first status you put on an enemy is called Break. You then put Topple. You then put Daze on them. So when they're toppled, they fall over and they can't do anything. And then when they are fallen over, you can put what's called Daze on them. And they basically just get stunned, so it's very useful for that. Right, so this is the Field Ponyo. These guys are pretty spooky sometimes, so you want to try not to get too bodied by them. There we go. So I was trying to build up a Buster as fast as I could, and then now I can just kind of go nuts on them. I'm going to make them focus. It could be very annoying in this fight. These guys can do a lot of damage to you if they aggro at the wrong time. And Melee is just sliding around the side there. Right, so the move I used in the Snowball Towers fight to increase my talent gauge, which is the bar in the middle, the talent gauge increases whenever you hit an auto attack. So when you're just standing around in doing nothing in combat, your characters will automatically swing. That's called an auto attack. Auto attacks are they can be done while let me press a button. They can be done like while moving. I forgot the inputs. There we go. They can be done like while moving into position, so you can get some damage and more stuff. And that's kind of what you're doing with them. Right, because I didn't build up a lot of talent gauge here, this might be a little bit awkward. You can put them on that. Shadow Eye to get rid of the aggro. Break his defense. Cool, I got it. And that should be that guy. And he should go. Okay, Nene did not get enough damage there like I thought she would. I'm going to quickly build up some buff myself, and that should be fine on the armor. Oh, that's an Affinity Burst right there. When the screen slows down and gives me a QTE in the middle, that's called an Affinity Burst. Those are completely random, but they can be useful because they can build up your talent, your party gauge. So now we've got to go over to the Sky Bridge because this guy called Galgar has been bothering our professor friend over here who's trying to work out a way to fight the big final boss. So we're going to fight him and his 2 robots. Tank his defense, then I'm going to do a Union Strike. Right, so during a Union Strike, you can press the QTs here for more damage. Last one. Oh, cool, I got a perfect. That last one there is actually a 2-frame input to get the perfect amount of damage. So he should take a brick of damage from this. I'm going to get him off of me so then he won't attack me. Or his aggro is just not in my favor. There we go. Alright, cool. And now that guy is going to get just bodied all of us. All right, there we go. That was actually a really, really good fight because I got a perfect on his on the Union Strike. All right, so after we dealt with Galgar because he's bothering our friend, he tells us that we need to use high ether. So in this game, one of the like things they use to power like machinery, weapons, and some abilities is called ether. We need to go collect like a particular type of ether, which is why we're going to go and ask a soldier who goes, I have no idea what you're talking about. We're going to go ask this high-end tier guard who goes, oh yeah, this other woman might know. We're going to go ask the other woman who then tells us where we might be able to find it. It's a lot of walking around. Alright, so this guy up here. It's our high-end tier guard. When you're mashing through text in this, it's actually a little bit better to mash both like A and B. But you want to make sure that on the final text box you aren't like bashing the B button because the B button's jump, and if you jump you can't open up the skip travel menu, which is you lose like a couple of seconds. Right, so the person we need to speak to is actually in the like the graveyard looking thing over here. So we're gonna go over there, talk to her, and then that landmark I picked up at the very, very back of like the level 70 area I walked through after dropping down the side of the mountain is where we need to go. And that entire cave is full of like a bunch of level 70 like big spiders and lizard men and giants that want to just actually destroy you. But we got a cheap way to get past all of them. Alright, just get past her attacks. And she like talks about some memento thing. About where she saw like a big ether source or something. Right. So this is the quarry. Right, it's a little bit faster to jump down these stairs. We also need to take some damage. So we're going to jump over this railing, take a bunch of damage, aggro this pot thing. The reason why we need to aggro the pot thing is because if you're not in combat, your HP heals, which is slow. Hopefully that spider hits me. Nice. So you aggro the spider because you need the spider to hit you. I'm going to run past all these enemies. You need one of these guys to hit you. Very nice. Right, there's more enemies up here that will try and hit you. Cool. And then we're going to grab this landmark location, and we're going to try and die as fast as we can afterwards. So whenever you die in this game, it takes you back to the nearest landmark you've just visited. And because this landmark location is behind all the enemies, yeah, none of them aggro onto us, so we can just walk all past them and not have to deal with any of them. And if you had to go through and fight them all, it'd be very, very slow. So yep, that's that quest completed. I actually did skip talking to the Professor Machina, which is like a robot person back here, because after you talk to the woman at the cemetery, you meant to come here and talk to this person here. But you can skip doing that altogether and just go straight to where you need to go. Right, now we're going to go up here. All right. Now we have like a bunch of fights in a row. So this is the big mammoth fight. This is like the first big dino we're going to fight. And what we're going to try to do this guy is we want to topple him. So I mentioned earlier about break and topple. We're going to inflict break on this guy. And hopefully Melia can't talk. Hopefully Melia like knocks him over. Okay, she didn't. Oh, she did. And when he's fallen over, we can inflict him with daze. Just start doing a bunch of damage to him. He's going to have not much left on his break meter afterwards. Okay. He's going to aggro me now. So I'm going to try and inflict him with break again, so Melee can knock him over, or I can knock him over myself. Okay. I'm going to keep trying to decrease his defense over and over. I'm going to increase his topple time. Daze him. Just getting myself a bit more talent gauge. Hit myself as well. So Shulk's actually a pretty decent like damage healer, and he actually has a healing ability as well, which is very useful. Doesn't heal a bunch of HP, but if you need like a little bit of a boost like I did there, it's really useful. Oh, that's a useless affinity burst. Something with affinity as well is it actually affects how good party members do in combat. Like you'll hit more attacks if you have high affinity, and you'll get more crits and such. It's not something that comes up like too often in this run, because you don't do you don't get enough affinity stuff, or there's no affinity stuff in this game which affects it that much. So we're going to do a steam edge here to try and break a bunch of guys. Then we're going to do a union strike. We actually don't want a perfect union strike here. We want like a couple of good ones, then we want to just whiff one of them. Yeah, like that. And hopefully the spider lives with a little bit of HP. They might not with that one. That might be too much damage. Yeah, it was too much damage. It doesn't matter too much, but it just means the next fight is a little bit harder. The next fight is, it could have what's called a certified dinosaur moment. We're going to fight a big T-Rex, and the big T-Rex can just actually destroy you sometimes. So the reason why I wanted the spider to survive with a little bit of HP is because then you can build up a little bit of your meter. But now I want to try to get the dino's aggro off of me. If Nene could actually do something, that'd be very useful. Okay. Okay, thank you. Now I can start building up my meter. Okay. I need them to get off me again. Okay. I'm going to wait until I can heal. Now hopefully he'll get off me now. And a shadow eye. Oh, that works. That was getting really scary there. He was nearly about to kill me. This is not going to be an amazing fight because of the aggro not working in my favor. Because Nene was probably whiffing a bunch of attacks. Right, so he actually has a bunch of little enemies like with him, which actually do more damage than the big dinosaur does. They're more annoying because they just gang up on you. So now he should be done in like a second here. Yeah, cool. Nearly got hit with a dino moment. Alright, so now we get the mask. So that's the Tyrion's mask, which lets us get into Melia's like room, which is where the Fog King is residing. So we're actually walking up to the final boss now. I will be making a save before going into him because if you die to this guy, which is very easy to die to, because sometimes he'll just completely destroy you, it kicks you back to the title screen without a save, like I mentioned earlier. So yeah, that's kind of fun. And the best part about this guy is you have to fight him twice. Not just once, you have to fight him twice. And he's exactly the same fight 2 times in a row. Same things can kill you, same things will do everything to you. Something you can do if you have enough party gauge. So when you're walking around the map normally, your party gauge like lowers itself like it is now. If I had more party gauge, I would aggro this guy here. So then my party gauge would remain full for longer. But I don't have enough of it to make that worth it. It loses like 4 seconds to do so. Am I going to hit... I'm not going to hit level 66. Oh, no. Hitting level 66 here makes doing the final boss just a smidge easier, but not, like, that much. Once you kill a bunch of the other enemies from doing your first Union Strike, you hit 66 normally. Alright, so here's the point of no return. It's through that teleporter, so before I go through it, I'll make a quick save. I'll do it here. There we go. Alright, cool. That's the point of no return. From here on out, if you die, you get kicked back to the title screen, no save. Right, so here's Fog King. So, Fog King isn't too spooky. It's the things around him that have the most amount of stuff. Oh, God. So, I'm going to use Monado Armor. So, what Monado Armor does is it increases our defense. So this guy has a bunch of different attacks that he can do. The one he's just doing there is called Mischarge. It's basically like the Power Charge equivalent from like Shin Megami Tensei game, where it basically increases the damage of his next physical attack. Oh, that's a Raising Mist. A Raising Mist gets rid of any buffs you have on yourself. So I'm going to quickly reapply my armor before I get my thing going. Cool. So the whole idea of this, you want to get as many Union Strikes as you can, but on the first Fog King, you want to get 1. I got a perfect there, by the way. If you want to get 1, then you want to build up a second one to make the start of the next fight a little bit easier, while also making sure your talent gauge is full. I'm going to do that. Oh, that's Infernal Burst. That does a brick of damage to me. Alright. Oh, can you... Okay, that really didn't work, but whatever. Right, now, it's Fog King 2. Same fight again. Same stuff can kill you. I just have to hope to God I get a hit here and I don't bonk. Oh, that worked. Oh, but because I bonked, I didn't get my position right, but I can still Monado Armor, which is fine. I want to Steam Edge, and I want to heal up real quick, and I want to try... Oh, he did a Raising Mist on me. That's not good. That's fine. Now I can start building up my bar again. Oh, nice. Sorry, while I try not to die here. Let me just... Oh, Melia died. That's kind of not good. Right, that should be fine. We should survive that hit now. Melia being dead is kind of annoying, because we don't want to spend any bars on anything that isn't a Union Strike. So hopefully this... Cool, I got another perfect. That's 3 perfects in this run so far, which is pretty good. So that should get rid of all the summon ghosts around him. Now we're going to try and survive this fight, Melia. This is mispress. I want to try and stop getting hit by that, because now we have to sit through this topple animation, which is 16 seconds. And this is looking pretty spooky, TBH, because he can do a lot of damage to us now, and we're probably going to die. Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely dead there. Alright, so that will kick me back to the top screen, but I have a save, it's fine. I have to do the fucking 1 again, which is, fine. Oh, whatever. It's always amusing when, like, I'm doing this, like, run at home, and people are like, why are you scared of this boss? This happens. That's why I'm scared of this boss. Alright. Hopefully the refights go alright. So the first Folk King fight was actually pretty good there. That wasn't too bad. It was the second one that went wrong, because it didn't have a lot of, like, build-up from the first fight for it. Oh, if I can actually skip cutscenes correctly, that'd be useful. Alright, let's try this again. Focus attacks. Alright, cool. We've got armor going now, which is good. I was going to Raising Miss me, which is fine. Oh, an Affinity Burst. Oh. Let's go. Alright, that was actually pretty useful. They got a topple on him. Oh, I missed the first one. No, my damage. It's fine. It'll give me a little bit more chance to build up a bar for the second fight. Alright. Staying focused. Yep, that's what I'm trying to do. Oh, nice. Oh, he moved, so I didn't get the positional. Alright. I'm going to try and get my bunch of meter for the refight. That was risky what I just did there. To try and build up my talent gauge a little bit more. Alright, this is a lot better. Oh, and we got an Affinity Burst. This game, I missed it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I got the bar here. Right, I'm not going to use this here. I'm going to save it for the refights, then I can hit him with a Union Strike basically instantly. There we go. Right, that went a lot better. Alright, now time for the refight. Alright, now what I can do instead is I can go to the side of him. Do that, do that, do that, do that, and cancel it into that. So I basically just animation cancel a bunch to get the Union Strike going as soon as possible, and then I miss the first B input, of course. Mess up the second one as well. Mess up the third one, nice. Off to an amazing start. But that's a lot better. So basically that gets rid of all the Summon Knights a lot quicker. So now I can just focus on killing this guy. He just did a Raising Mist on me, which is not amazing. It gets rid of my stat buffs, but that's fine. He's about to do Mispress, which is not good. Okay, everyone else got hit there, so I'm going to go and pick him up. Get up! Right, there we go. Get everyone a shield up, heal up. Final Burst is fine. I'm going to Shadow Eye so he doesn't aggro me as hard. He should get off me in a second here, then I can go around him like this, decrease his defense. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. Alright, so Tech, if you get ready on time, this should be all good to win the fight now. And smack him with a buster. Alright, cool, time. Oh, and still sub 40 with a death, let's go! Alright, yeah, so that was Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. Shout out to the Xenoblade Chronicles speedrunning community, and yeah, this is a pretty decent game if you want to kind of get into Xenoblade speedrunning without diving into a 4 to 7 hour, 10 hour kind of run. It's a nice digestible 30-minute to 40-minute run. But yeah, that's pretty much all from me. The run was okay, apart from the Fog King death, which is unavoidable sometimes. But yeah, move on, please proceed. I can't think of the words.
All right, lovely stuff. Thank you very much, Rebel. If you have any shout-outs to give, now would be a wonderful time to do so.
Apart from the Xenoblade speedrunning community, I haven't got anything specific for this one.
In which case, where can people find you if they wish to see more RPG goodness?
I stream on my Twitch channel, RebelDragon95, as much as I feel like I'm able to. But yeah, feel free to drop me a follow there, and I'll see whatever I'm playing. It may be an RPG, maybe something random. Might be a random PS2 game. That's kind of what I'm known for. Playing random stuff.
Nice stuff. All right, thank you very much once again to Rebel Dragon for bringing us that wonderful run. We will be back in just a few short moments with Ben 10 Power Trip, all bosses, being run by Lily. Look forward to it and don't go anywhere.